Dr. Marin Solis walked alone through the quiet streets of New Geneva, a city built on glass towers and green rooftops. The night air was cool, and the stars above were bright and sharp. She liked walking after sunset. It gave her time to think, away from the noise of the world. Marin was a retired xenobiologist. She had spent years studying life from other planets, though real aliens were still just theory to most people. Earth hadn't made open contact with anyone beyond the solar system, or so the public believed. But Marin knew better. That evening, her path took her down an old trail near the city's edge. It led beneath a wide concrete bridge that crossed over a dry riverbed. It was a place most people avoided, quiet and dark, with only a few broken lights flickering overhead. She almost passed by without noticing. Almost. A soft sound stopped her. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't an animal. It was something else, like a faint whisper or a cough. Curious, Marin stepped closer to the shadows under the bridge. Her eyes adjusted slowly, and that's when she saw her. Someone, or something, was huddled behind a pile of discarded crates and blankets. At first, it looked like a homeless woman, thin, wrapped in layers of torn clothing. But as Marin moved closer, she noticed something strange. The figure's skin shimmered slightly in the moonlight. Not shiny, more like soft light passing through a colored window. "Hello?" Marin said gently. The figure flinched. "I'm not here to hurt you," she added, lowering her voice. For a moment there was silence, then slowly the figure turned to face her. Marin's breath caught. It was a woman, but not fully human. Her eyes were large, with pupils like drops of silver. Her face was delicate, her hair fine and almost translucent. Her skin had a faint glow, as if lit from within. Despite the strange appearance, there was fear in her eyes. Real fear. And exhaustion. "Please," the woman whispered. "Don't tell them." Marin crouched beside her. Who are you hiding from?" The woman didn't answer. Her hands trembled and her clothes were damp from the cool night. Marin could see she was cold and weak. "My name is Marin," she said softly. "You need help. I can take you somewhere safe." The alien woman looked away. "No one helps. They always want something." "I don't," Marin replied. "I just don't want to leave you here." For a long moment, the woman said nothing. Then, with great effort, she stood, wobbling slightly, and let Marin guide her out from under the bridge. It was the beginning of something neither of them could have expected. Marin lived alone in a small house just outside the city. Her home was warm, filled with soft lights, old books, and quiet music. She helped the woman sit by the fireplace, wrapped her in a thick blanket, and brought her tea. The alien sniffed it cautiously, then took a sip. Her hands were still shaking, but the warmth seemed to help. "Do you have a name?" Marin asked. The woman hesitated, then nodded. "Kari. That's a beautiful name." Kari looked at her with quiet surprise, as if not used to kindness. Over the next few hours, Marin asked gentle questions, never pushing too hard. Kari answered only a few. She had come a long way. She had lost everything. She was alone. She had been hiding. When Marin asked where she was from, Kari just looked at the fire. "I'm not supposed to be here," she said. "They told us." Earth was off limits. Marin felt a chill run through her. "Who told you that?" Kari didn't reply. Later that night, as Kari slept on the couch, Marin sat in her chair and watched her. There were so many questions in her mind. How did Kari get here? What had she run from? Why Earth? But more than anything, Marin felt something she hadn't felt in years. Purpose. She had spent her life studying distant stars and unknown life. Now one of them had come to her doorstep, hurt, afraid, and in need of help. Marin knew she couldn't ignore this. Something important was happening, even if she didn't understand it yet. The world was about to change, and it had started, with a quiet stranger beneath a forgotten bridge. Kari woke up early the next morning, sunlight warming her face through the window. For a moment she didn't know where she was. The soft couch, the smell of tea in the air, the quiet hum of machines. None of it felt familiar. Then she remembered the kind woman, the night under the bridge, and the choice she made to trust her. Maren was already awake, sitting at the table with a cup of tea and a small notebook. She looked up and smiled gently. "Good morning." Kari nodded slowly. "Morning. You slept well?" Kari looked down. Better than before. Maren didn't ask too many questions. She gave Kari space and time. That was something Kari had not known in a long time. Peace. Later, after a quiet breakfast, Maren brought out a small scanner. It was an old science tool, something she used in her xenobiology work. She held it up carefully. "This is just to check your health," she said. "Only if you're okay with it." Kari hesitated, then nodded. The scanner hummed softly as it moved near Kari's arm. The readings appeared on Maren's old tablet. At first everything looked strange, nothing like human biology. But as she looked deeper, Maren noticed something surprising. "Your cells are adapting," she said, frowning thoughtfully. "It's like your body is changing to match Earth's environment." Kari looked away. "It always does." "You've been to other planets?" Maren asked, trying to stay calm. Kari nodded slowly. "A few, not like this one." Maren leaned forward. "Why Earth? Why now?" Kari didn't speak right away. Her eyes grew distant, like she was looking into a memory far away. "There was a war," she finally said. "Not with weapons. With fear. Silence came. It doesn't speak, doesn't burn, it just takes. Whole worlds." Maren blinked. "The silence?" Kari nodded. "It spreads like wind. You don't see it at first. You only feel it. Less joy, less hope. People forget how to dream. Then one day, nothing is left, not even names." Maren felt a chill. "And you escaped?" "I ran," Kari said quietly. "I was lucky. I took a small ship and followed the old maps. Earth was marked as not ready. No contact allowed. But it was the only place left." Maren thought about that. Earth had always believed it was alone, but Kari's word said otherwise. Earth was known but ignored, hidden from something far greater. "You speak English," Maren said, trying to understand. "How?" Kari smiled faintly. "Your language is simple, clear. I learned from your transmissions, songs, stories, speeches. You've been listening to us?" For a long time, that idea filled Maren with wonder and unease. How many others had watched Earth from the stars? And why had they stayed away? Kari suddenly clutched her head, her face tense with pain. "Are you all right?" Maren stood quickly and knelt beside her. "It's the change," Kari whispered. "My mind is shifting. Earth, it's loud. So many thoughts, so much feeling." Maren helped her sit back and brought her water. "You don't have to talk anymore today, just rest." Kari nodded gratefully. That evening, as Kari rested, Maren sat on her porch and looked at the stars. Her old instincts were coming back. She had studied life from other worlds but never dreamed she would share her home with someone from beyond the stars. Everything Kari said sounded impossible, but Maren had seen the truth in her eyes. The silence, the falling worlds, the escape, and Earth, a forgotten place, might now be in danger too. She opened her old files, research notes, star maps, and long-forgotten data she had saved before retiring. Maybe she could find a clue, a way to understand more. Hours passed. Then, as she scrolled through an old digital archive, she found something strange, a file she didn't remember saving. It was a recording. Audio only. A soft voice speaking a mix of languages, some human, some not. As she listened, she realized it was a warning. Earth remains silent. Let no vessel speak. Let no signal echo. It must remain lost. or the silence will find it. Maren stared at the screen. Her heart pounded. Someone had hidden Earth on purpose. Inside the house, Kari stirred again. She rose slowly and joined Maren on the porch. "You found it," Kari said quietly, looking at the screen. "You knew?" "I knew someone long ago tried to protect this world, but now I'm here. And they might come." Maren looked at her. "We won't let them." Kari looked unsure. "You don't know what they are." "No," Maren said, standing tall. "But I know what we are. We don't run from the dark. We light it up." Kari looked at her for a long time, then smiled. Just a little. It was the first real smile Maren had seen from her. Kari sat in the garden the next morning, quiet and thoughtful. The sun felt warm on her face and the air smelled of flowers and soil. Earth was beautiful in a soft, simple way. The birds, the wind, the clouds, all of it felt alive. It was nothing like the metal skies and empty cities she had left behind. Inside the house, Maren was working again. She was studying the strange warning message she had found the night before. Every time she listened to it, she felt a growing sense of worry. If Earth had been hidden on purpose, then Kari's arrival had changed everything. Around midday, Kari suddenly looked up at the sky. Maren noticed it too. There was a strange silence. The birds had stopped singing. Even the wind had gone still. Then they heard it, a low hum, faint but growing. It wasn't coming from the house, or any machine nearby. It came from above. Maren stepped outside. She saw it then. A strange shadow, moving high in the sky. Not an airplane, not a satellite. It was smooth, silent, and shaped like a long silver tear. It didn't shine. It almost seemed to blend with the sky. Kari stood beside her, eyes wide. "They found me," she whispered. Maren's heart skipped. "Who?" Kari didn't answer. She turned and ran inside. In Maren's lab room, Kari reached into the bundle she had brought with her. From deep inside, she pulled out a small, crystal-like device. It pulsed with a faint blue glow. "This is a beacon," she said. "I broke it before landing, but it still leaks. Just enough." "Enough to be tracked," Maren guessed. Kari nodded. "That ship isn't here to talk. It's here to scan. If it finds life, real intelligent life, it will mark this world. And what happens after that?" Maren asked. Kari hesitated. "Others will come." Maren understood. Not friends, not help. Something worse. They couldn't let the ship know what Earth truly was. Using her old equipment and Kari's knowledge, Maren quickly set up a signal jammer around the house. It wasn't strong, but it might confuse the ship's scans for a little while. Together they stayed low and waited. The ship hovered silently above the city for hours. News channels started reporting it as a possible weather balloon or test drone. No one truly believed it was alien. People were curious, not afraid. Only Maren and Kari knew the truth. That evening, the ship finally moved. It floated toward the nearby mountains and disappeared behind the clouds. Kari looked relieved, but only a little. "They didn't see the whole planet," she said. "But they'll be back." That night, Kari explained more. She sat with Maren beside the fire, holding the crystal beacon in her hands. "My people once studied the silence," she said. "We thought we could stop it. But it doesn't fight. It absorbs. It doesn't want control. It wants stillness." Maren frowned. Stillness? No dreams. No questions. No change. Just quiet. Kari looked into the fire, her voice softer now. "My world thought we were strong. We had fleets, machines, wisdom. But when the silence came, we forgot. We forgot our songs. We forgot our stories. One by one, people stopped caring. They stopped feeling." Maren listened closely. She had never heard of such a thing. An enemy that didn't destroy with weapons, but with emptiness. "And you?" she asked gently. Kari looked down. "I held on. I ran. I don't know why I survived. Maren thought for a moment. Maybe because you still feel. You still remember. Kari smiled faintly. Then maybe this world is my last chance. Later that night while Kari slept, Maren couldn't rest. Her thoughts raced. If this silence erased feeling, erased dreams, then Earth was a threat to it. Earth was loud, messy, full of music and emotion. If the silence found it, it would try to change it, erase what made it human. Maren opened her old communication system. She still had contacts, scientists, engineers, a few friends in orbital watch stations. She sent a quiet message. Unidentified object. Need more data. Don't alert news. She knew she couldn't trust the government yet. Too many questions, too much risk. But she needed answers. She needed to know how much time they had. The next morning, Kari stood in the doorway of Maren's study. She looked stronger, her skin glowing a little brighter, her eyes clearer. My body is adjusting to this planet, she said. But something else is happening too. Maren turned. What do you mean? Kari touched her chest lightly. I'm remembering more. Old memories. Feelings I thought were gone. Is it good or bad? Maren asked. Kari looked at her with calm eyes. It's human. That one word hung in the air like a quiet promise. Something was changing. Not just in Kari, but in the balance of the universe. And Maren knew. The silence had overlooked Earth. But now Earth was awake. The next day, Maren and Kari traveled quietly to a remote place in the mountains. Kari said there was something important hidden there, a secret from her people, something they had protected for a long time. Maren helped her into the small, all-terrain vehicle she kept for emergencies. The engine hummed softly as they drove, through winding roads, the city falling behind them, and the wild nature growing around. After an hour, they reached a narrow path leading to a rocky cave. The air smelled fresh and cool. Kari's steps were sure but careful. Maren watched her, closely, wondering what they would find. At the cave entrance, Kari pulled a small device from her pocket. She pressed it against a hidden panel, and a section of the rock slowly slid open, revealing a narrow passage. Inside, the walls glowed faintly with strange symbols, old and beautiful, like a language written in light. Maren's heart quickened. This was not just any hiding place, it was a sanctuary. Deeper in the cave, they reached a small chamber where a single object rested on a pedestal. It was a crystal, clear but shining with shifting colors inside. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. Kari's eyes filled with tears. This is the memory core, she whispered. The last gift from my people. Maren stepped closer, careful not to touch. What does it do? Kari explained. It holds our history, everything we knew, felt, and dreamed. It stores the memories of my world before the silence came. Our knowledge, our stories, our songs. It is a piece of our soul. Maren felt a sudden weight of sadness and hope. If it survived, maybe your people's wisdom can live on. Kari nodded. And maybe it can help Earth. Maren thought about how they could unlock the core's secrets. She had technology, but this was unlike anything she had seen. It was living memory, not just data. Together, they connected the core to Maren's portable computer. The crystal began to glow brighter, and a holographic image rose into the air. It showed sprawling cities made of light, strange creatures moving gracefully, and vast spaceships traveling through stars. The images shifted quickly to darker scenes: destruction, silence spreading like fog, people disappearing, faces full of fear. Maren felt tears prick her eyes. This was a story of loss. Kari said softly, "The silence is coming. It hunts for worlds with life like ours. It cannot see life that fights, that feels, that hopes." Maren looked at her. Earth fights every day. We are loud with life. Kari smiled sadly. That is why this world is special. The silence does not expect it. Marin thought about the people she knew, their kindness, anger, joy, sadness, all messy, all human. The silence wanted silence. Earth was everything it feared. Suddenly, the crystal projected a new image, a symbol. It was like a star surrounded by a ring of light. Underneath, glowing letters formed a message in several languages. Marin could read one word clearly. Hope. Kari said, "This is our last message. We believed that somewhere, a world like Earth would keep fighting. That hope could stop the silence." Marin's heart swelled. "Then we have to protect it." Kari reached out and touched the core gently. "But the silence is already near. It will not wait." Back at the house, Marin and Kari prepared for what might come. Marin gathered old friends from her past, engineers, scientists, and thinkers who still trusted her. She shared what she had learned, but only in secret. They began working on ways to defend Earth, not with weapons, but with technology that could hide and confuse. Kari taught them how the silence searched, how it sensed life. Marin felt hope grow inside her. This was no longer just about one alien woman or one planet. It was about a new beginning. Kari stood by her side, no longer just a stranger, but a partner. The memory core was their guide. One night, as Marin looked at the stars, Kari spoke quietly. "Do you think humans understand what makes them strong?" Marin thought for a moment. "I think humans are brave. We don't give up. We care deeply, even when it hurts." Kari smiled. "That care is powerful. It is why I believe Earth can survive." Marin nodded. "Then we fight, not with anger, but with heart." Kari looked up at the sky. This is only the beginning. The quiet that had hung over New Geneva for days was broken suddenly by the sound of distant alarms. Marin woke to the harsh ringing and hurried to her study where her old communication screens flickered with urgent messages. "They found us," she whispered. Kari stood beside her, eyes wide but calm. The silence has sent its scout. Outside, the city lights flickered briefly as power grids shifted under strange interference. The alien ship that had hovered over the mountains was back, and this time, it was not alone. Marin's friends, the scientists and engineers she had contacted, gathered quickly. They worked through the night, trying to understand the strange signals coming from orbit. The Silence's scout was not a ship in the usual sense. It was more like a drone, silent, moving with purpose, scanning the planet below with cold precision. Marin and Kari watched the data flow in. The drone searched for signs of intelligent life, analyzing everything. Plants, animals, humans. Kari's face grew pale. "If it detects us, it will mark this world." Marin clenched her fists. "Then we have to stop it." They launched a plan to confuse the drone's sensors. Marin's team created electromagnetic fields that bent the signals. Kari used her knowledge of alien technology to predict the drone's patterns. It was a race against time. For hours, the drone circled Earth, probing and scanning. Marin's devices sent false signals, creating illusions that hid the real signs of life. The drone slowed, confused by the strange data. Then, the unexpected happened. The drone sent a signal directly to Kari's small crystal beacon, the one she had brought from her world and broken on Earth. The beacon pulsed, and Kari's body reacted violently. Pain crossed her face, but she stood firm. "It knows I am here." Marin rushed to her side. "We can't let it take you." Kari shook her head. "I am the key. If I surrender, the silence will stop here. But you'll be lost," Marin said, voice trembling. Kari looked at her with steady eyes. "I will be lost, but not forgotten. You have the memory core, you have hope." Marin swallowed hard. She knew Kari was right, but the thought of losing her was unbearable. As the night deepened, the drone began a slow descent toward the mountains. The same place, where Kari had found the memory core. Marin and her team set up their defenses there. They placed signal jammers, sensor blockers, and traps designed to confuse the drone. When the drone landed, it moved silently through the rocky terrain, searching. Kari led Marin to a hidden spot where they could watch. Suddenly, the drone's sensors flickered. It slowed. Then, as if sensing something unexpected, it paused. Kari stepped forward. "I have something to say." Marin gasped. Kari spoke in a voice that was both human and something more, clear and strong. "I am not your enemy." For a moment, the drone's lights blinked. Then, to everyone's shock, it retracted its scanning devices and emitted a soft glow. Marin felt a wave of relief. The drone was not just a machine. It could understand. Kari continued, "This world fights with heart. It will not fall to silence." The drone pulsed once more, then took off into the sky, vanishing among the stars. Marin and Kari stood in silence, the weight of what had just happened pressing on them. "We won this battle," Marin said softly, "but the silence will return." Kari nodded. "We must be ready." The next days were filled with quiet preparation. Marin's team worked tirelessly, using every bit of knowledge they had to build defenses, not weapons, but shields made of technology and hope. Kari's body continued to change, glowing softly with a new strength. She told Marin that Earth's energy was helping her heal and grow stronger. One evening, Kari looked up at the stars. "I feel the others coming." Marin placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we will face them. Together." Kari smiled. A true smile this time. Together. The days passed quickly, but the danger grew closer. Marin and Kari worked side by side with a small group of trusted friends. Scientists, engineers, and thinkers gathered quietly in secret. They shared one goal: to protect Earth from the silence. Marin knew that the silence was not a creature to fight with guns or armies. It was something else, an empty force that erased hope and life. To fight it, they needed something different. Kari had an idea. "We must use what the silence fears most." Marin looked at her, curious. "And what is that?" "Life. Feeling. Unpredictability." Kari explained that the silence destroyed what was simple and controlled. It could not handle the messy, complex, and strong emotions that humans had. Love, hope, courage. These were weapons stronger than any machine. Marin smiled. "So, our strength is our humanity." "Yes," Kari said, "but we need a way to carry that strength into space. A way to spread it beyond Earth." Marin thought for a moment. "A virus?" Kari shook her head. "Not a virus that harms, a virus of hope." Together they began to design something new, a psychic signal built from the essence of human emotions. It was a message of courage, of stories, of music and dreams. It would be invisible to machines, but powerful enough to confuse the silence. They worked day and night, testing and improving. Marin's old technology combined with Kari's alien knowledge made it possible. Kari volunteered to carry the signal herself. "I am the link," she said. "My mind can hold it." Marin was worried. "It could be dangerous." Kari smiled gently. "I must try. For Earth." On the night Kari prepared to leave, the small team gathered quietly in Marin's house. They shared stories and hopes, knowing this might be their last time together. Marin gave Kari a small device, a communicator to send messages back if she could. Kari hugged Marin tightly. "You gave me a home when I had none. I will carry your strength with me." Marin's eyes filled with tears. "Come back safe." With a final nod, Kari stepped outside. The sky was clear, the stars bright. A small ship, hidden and silent, waited for her. As Kari entered the ship, her body glowed softly. The signal she carried was alive inside her, a spark of human hope ready to travel the stars. The ship rose quietly into the night sky, slipping past Earth's orbit. Inside, Kari felt the pulse of the psychic signal growing stronger. It was strange and beautiful, a chorus of human voices, laughter and dreams. She thought of Marin, of Earth's rivers and forests, of all the people who fought every day to live and love. Kari was not alone. She carried the heart of a world. Back on Earth, Marin watched the sky with a mixture of hope and fear. The silence of space was deep, but she believed in Kari's strength. She whispered softly, "Bring us light." Far away, beyond the stars, the silence waited. But now a new force was awakening, a force no machine could control, a force born from the messy, beautiful chaos of humanity. The stars twinkled quietly over Earth, as if watching and waiting. Kari's small ship drifted through the vast darkness of space. Inside, she carried more than just a message. She carried the heart of a world that fought with hope, love, and courage. As she traveled, memories began to surface, old, forgotten memories that did not belong only to her alien past, but to something else. She touched her forehead gently and gasped. Kari was not just an alien from a distant star. She was a hybrid, part human, part something ancient and mysterious. Long ago, unknown to many, a small group of explorers from Earth had traveled the stars. In secret, they had made contact with alien civilizations and exchanged knowledge. Some had even altered their own genes, blending human and alien to create a new kind of life, one able to survive in the harsh reaches of space. Kari was one of those lives. This was why she had survived the silence. This was why she had been drawn to Earth. She was part of this world. Back on Earth, Marin waited with growing hope and fear. The days passed slowly, but every morning she looked up at the sky, searching. Then one evening, the small communicator in her hand crackled. A voice, soft but strong, spoke through it. "Marin." Kari, tears filled Marin's eyes. "Kari, are you safe?" "Yes," Kari said. "But this journey is only the beginning." Kari told her about what she had seen beyond the stars. The vast silence fleet moving slowly, searching for worlds, like Earth. But Kari also told her about the power of the human signal, the chaos of life, the songs, the dreams. It confused the silence. It made them hesitate, gave worlds time to prepare. "You gave me strength," Kari said. "Your kindness saved me. Humanity is not the end, it is the answer." Marin smiled through tears. "We will protect this world." Together, far away, the silence fleet paused. They could not understand the strength they faced. They could not destroy what they could not control. And Earth, small, wild, full of heart, shone brighter than any star. Months passed. Earth's secret coalition grew stronger. Scientists, engineers, and dreamers worked together, sharing knowledge and hope. Kari returned, changed and stronger, bringing new knowledge and stories from the stars. Marin and Kari stood side by side, watching the horizon. "We are ready," Marin said. Kari nodded. "The silence may come again, but we will never be silent." In the end, it was not weapons or fear that saved Earth. It was compassion. It was courage. It was the messy, beautiful spirit of humanity.